Exams are completely pointless. Hello people, my name is Seven, and I just got back from doing yet another round of final exams. And just like any other, I can't help but feel cheated. In this video, I want to give some insight on how these exams are made and corrected. This is going to be a more personal video, so there's going to be some stories of mine to really explain what I'm talking about. So first of all, I want to explain how I know how exams are corrected. Every time one of my exams comes back, I have the ability to have it reviewed by me. By which I mean I get to sit down in a room with the teachers, they give me my exam, and the whole point of this is to try and convince the teachers that you deserve a better grade. Or if you're a hot chick, you can just persuade them to give you a better grade, because that's the thing apparently. There's always a lot of stories going around of people managing to double their grade in one of these sessions, but for me, my experiences have all been negative, and it has really given me a look at how these exams are corrected. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the first problem. You never really know how far you have to go to explain a concept. I often joke around about this, that exams are secretly being corrected by a group of babies and you need to start all of your answers by explaining what the alphabet is first. Normally you write your answers for a teacher to read them, that's who's supposedly correcting the exam, but a lot of times I find myself having to explain these simple concepts that anyone can understand, but if I don't explain them, I get 0 marks. Nothing can be implied, and that's the problem, because who draws the line? How deep do I have to go to explain? Do I have to go all the way down and explain the alphabet? So yeah, babies. And this has cost me so many marks. A few weeks ago, I was sitting on one of these reviewing sessions, and I came across one of these quote questions. There was a quote, and by the end of it, I just had to comment on it. These questions are so ambiguous. Comment on this quote. What am I supposed to say? Pretty much saying anything related to this quote will be considered commenting on it. I had written an entire paragraph expanding on this statement. You know, what it is about, what it was, that type of stuff. That's it. I commented on it. So I'm sitting at this reviewing session, and what a surprise, there's a big 0 right next to that question. So I stand up and I ask the teacher what is wrong with my answer, and he grabs my test, he reads the first line, maybe the second one, and then he says, "Well, you didn't do what you were told." What? What am I supposed to do then? To which he then replied, "Well, first you had to say whether or not the statement was true or false." To which it was true in this question. And then you had to say why. Are you kidding me? I had to say yes or no. But I wouldn't be able to expand on the statement like I did without implying that it was true. And I said that, but he didn't care. I needed to explicitly say yes. So there we go. I had all the knowledge necessary to have that question completely right. But in the end, I got 0. Not because of me, but because I had to explain something that was so easy to understand on my question. And that's why you need to explain everything at the smallest detail. And that's only one example. I don't even want to know how many marks I've lost over the years due to my teachers not wanting to care about understanding my answers. I don't want to know. And this brings me to my second point. I hate definitions. I despise having to define a concept. Not because they're hard, but because it's virtually impossible to have these answers 100% correct. If you try to explain these answers using your own words, you're not gonna have a good time. You need to literally memorize what's in the slides or in the textbook to even have a chance to get 100% correct. This is ridiculous. If I swap the word quick by the word fast, I will get penalized. If I don't say word for word what's in the textbook, I will get penalized. If I use any of my own words, I'm gonna have a bad time. This is so stupid. Learning something isn't about memorizing, it's about explaining it with your own words. When you learn something, you explain it with your own words. That's how you learn. Memorizing doesn't get you anywhere, but still, it's what's being incentivized here. And this is stupid. And now, my final point. I remember being in 5th grade in math class and discovering new and more efficient ways of solving equations by myself. These methods weren't taught in classes, but I could use them just as easily in tests and not get penalized because the teachers knew exactly what I was doing even if it wasn't taught in classes. Fast forward to college and it's the complete opposite. I don't think the teachers even read my answers anymore. They just see that it's a different method, slap a big 0 on it, and move on. In their defense, they are given a monumental task at the end of every semester. They have to correct 300 exams, give or take, in just about a week. And it's normal that a lot of questions get underlooked. But that's no excuse for what they're doing. If you ask me for something, and I give you exactly that, I deserve a correct answer, even if I got there not the way it was intended. A few weeks ago, I was on yet another reviewing session. This time was for a statistics course, which is pretty much math with probabilities everywhere. And there was this one question which was very simple, what's the probability of this event happening? It sounds simple, but it really was not. It was quite complex, and it took me a long time to complete it. So I'm again sitting at this reviewing session, and I'm comparing the results. I see my answer, and I see the corrections answer, and they're pretty much the same. Well, kind of the same. The answer on the correction said like 30%, and mine was like 29.89%. They were so close that it's definitely a rounding off error. And that's it. That was my answer. My answer had to be correct, and no. 0. I had gotten as a big fat 0 on it, even though the answer was pretty much correct. So I called the teacher, she acknowledged the error, she gives me a good grade, and I passed the course, yay! Of course not. Have you been listening to this video? So apparently I solved the exercise in this completely different way, and the one thing that became apparent as I was explaining what I had done in that exercise was that they didn't bother to understand it. They didn't bother to read my answer. They just saw that it was completely different, and they just slapped a 0 on it. That's it. I spent like 10 minutes trying to explain my answer to them, but up to no avail. They didn't care. Screw you, 7. Screw you. My method was right, I know it's right, but screw you. That's it. That's the one thing to take away from this video. This is unfair, and I hate it because it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a test of knowledge, and it's not. It's not. It is not. There's no way it can be. What I see is half of my knowledge getting lost in translation every time on every exam, and that's it. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Please give me your opinion, and I guess I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Ready, set, go!